Discussion keeps the world turning.
This is Roundtable.
From the heart of Beijing to the edges of the global stage, you are at Roundtable. I'm Niu Honglin. Have you ever watched a film and immediately thought, I want to go there? Maybe it's a city, a street, or even just a feeling. This year's Beijing International Film Festival leans into that impulse, turning films into invitations and the city itself into a kind of open world experience. And there are many more highlights, so moviegoers, make sure you stay tuned. For today's show, I'm joined by Yushun and Steve Hatherley. Now pull up a chair and join the conversation. You step out of a cinema, the credits still rolling in your mind. The streets outside feel different, almost like part of the film you just watched. The cafe on the corner could be a scene. The alley down the block feels like a story waiting to happen. Now, imagine an entire city designed to feel like that way for you, where films don't end when you leave the theater, but continue into the streets, the food, the neighborhoods. From stories that span decades to fleeting moments that unfold in a single night, from intimate human emotions to larger-than-life cinematic world. And the magic of light and shadow never fails to fascinate me. I guess that's why I was stumbling a little bit, because so many scenes was in my mind, and I was thinking about the movies I've watched and the places I was trying to visit. And all that makes me even more excited about the already happening Beijing International Film Festival and the awards, the stars, the screenings in different places, and also a lot of activities. So a lot to expect. Yushun, let us know what are some highlights about this year's Beijing International Film Festival.
Yeah, Beijing International Film Festival has always been that kind of friend, we will meet every year here in Beijing. And to be honest, this BJIFF is the one, I think, reporting event that I attended for my whole career.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I kind of have that special feeling.
Yeah,
to
right.
this thing.
Connection.
Yeah, and this year is also quite very special. It is scheduled to take place from April the 16th to 25th, 2026, and the opening and closing ceremonies, as well as the red carpet events, will be held in Huairou District, in Yanqihu in Beijing. So this edition has seen a record-breaking scale. It feels like every year there is a record.
Last year, I'm pretty sure we said that too.
Getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah,
Exciting.
So 1,826 feature films from 139 countries and regions submitting for the Tiantan Award competition. And also international entries account for 88% of the submissions, making another historical high, and it really got the title of International Film Festival.
We're going to talk about some of the countries that are represented in just a little bit. But the theme of the film festival this year is Tiantan reflects 100 flowers, lights shine over the capital.
Yes.
Which is a very poetic theme. And at the opening ceremony, the Tiantan Award will meet the 100 Flowers Film Awards in Beijing for the first time, which is a very exciting aspect of this year's festival too.
Yes, it's very significant because the 100 Flowers Award is quite important here in China. It's one of the 3 major movie-related awards nationwide. And initially, we have 3 different ones. I think it's the Golden Chicken, which is more important in the sense that you have very professional jury figuring out who got the best artsy level, and they would judge which movie wins the award. And for the 100 Flower one, it's about People's Award. I think initially it's having many audience from all around the country sending in their vote for the kind of movie that they like.
The only film award in China determined by public voting.
Exactly. And then there's also the Huabiao Award, which focuses on the topic, the theme of the movie, whether or not they are picking a really good story. So there are different aspects, but definitely the 100 Flower Award is one of the most important movie-related awards award in the country and combining it with the Beijing International Film Festival gives it a special, I think, significance, but at the same time make a lot of sense because the movie festivals also are dedicated to the people, just like the 100 Flower Award.
That's why it is what we call it special because that makes Beijing the only city in the country to host these two major film festivals within a single year.
But we have to say, for Beijing International Film Festival, it has its own award, and the competition is really fierce. And like Yushun said, we are looking at nearly 2,000 movies trying to compete in this award, and that is the Tiantan Awards.
Exactly. And this year, we got 16 shortlisted films and come from a wide range of countries and regions, including China, France, the United Kingdom, Brazil, Portugal, Vietnam, Austria, the Netherlands, Georgia, Malaysia, Italy, and Russia.
Those are the countries I was talking about before. Yeah, that's pretty cool, though, isn't it? I mean, you've got so much art represented from so many different corners of the world, and it makes it a really special occasion and a really international occasion. So, yeah, that's one of the highlights from this year. Another one that stood out for me, and this is from the official website of the festival, there are new works. Of course, we see that each time there's a film festival, there are new works by internationally acclaimed directors. There are also debut films that are showing for the first time, and those would be including some emerging talents. And again, that's something that we see when we see a film festival. And these films, they're covering a lot of different topics, too. You've got the ones that have profound reflections about life and death, then you've got films that are more lighthearted, then you've got family dramas that span over decades, and you've got intense romantic adventures, and all of these things can unfold over a few days of watching great films.
Yes, and when we talk about entertainment choices, yes, these days we love the short clips we get to enjoy on our phone. We love the kind of drama that are played by only one actor, again, on social media, and they can play different roles with different outfits. But the ultimate experience or entertainment or, joy comes from these real artwork, which is why we love to attend. By saying attend, I do not mean to submit one of our works into the Tiantan Award, which actually is something we did. We didn't win, just so you know. We submitted one or two of our short videos, but apparently those short videos are too newsy and not artsy enough. We didn't win, but it was a fun experience, and they have a lot of different categories when it comes to being able to be demonstrated during the Beijing International Film Festival. Not only are those longer movies, but short videos as well, and also AIGC short videos also is a separate category that you can aim for, you can compete in. So we tried.
So
we didn't win, but it's fine.
Best Director Award will not be going to Niu Honglin this time
so
around.
sad.
But
we have so many different other categories.
Yeah, that's true. Speaking of directors, quickly, this competition, I mentioned that there are some debut films and new stars, and some of those new stars are from rising directors, and those rising directors come alongside the established names, if you will, the masters of filmmaking, which makes this really special too. And it's another highlight from the film, I think. You've got the names that we recognize, but then the names where we say, oh, who's that? And what's that movie about? And what did they make? And the festival gives us an opportunity to become familiar with those names, with those directors, with the films that they make.
And you never know. Those people might be the future superstar.
Well, 100%,
yes. Yeah. And when you talk about familiar names, yes, when it comes to the jury, which we believe can be the best judge, should be the best judge of who wins the Tiantan Awards, this year it's also quite impressive if you look at the lineup of the jury.
The lineup for this year's Tiantan Award International Jury is absolutely packed with heavy hitters from every corner of the film industry. And according to the website, the jury consists of 7 members led by the legendary French actress and also director Juliette Binoche. Who is serving as the jury president, first of all.
Quite an honor.
She's an icon.
Yeah,
of course.
She's truly the icon. She made history as the first actress ever to win the Best Actress Award at all 3 major European film festivals, Cannes, Venice, and also Berlin.
Yeah, I think she was the jury president for the main competition at the Berlin Film Festival a few years ago, maybe back in 2019. And then in 2025, she was the jury president of the main competition of the 78th Cannes Film Festival, one of the biggest or most recognized in the world, too.
Yeah.
So to have Juliette Binoche here is an absolute treasure for the film festival.
Yeah, and also joining her are some very incredibly creative minds who bring a lot of different perspectives to the table. As in different perspective means that a bunch of international talents, no matter they're actors, directors, screenwriters, they're joining the whole jury group to, I think, have a more comprehensive understanding on all of these realistic films. So Bi Gan, a celebrated Chinese director and also screenwriter known for his unique authorial voice, and also Chuan An Han, a French-Vietnamese director and screenwriter, Gabriel Mascaro, a Brazilian director who is also a screenwriter and visual artist. So I think they can provide different perspectives, as I say, from maybe even a screenwriter, director, or even a visual advisor or something like that.
There's more people on that panel as well. It's a tough task for the group, isn't it? To
And they all have their different perspective, like Yushun said. Maybe you get to see a special side of the filmmaking that you have personal experience with as an actor or as a screenwriter.
or as a composer and music producer.
Yeah, that is why they would be also, I think, in great competition when they talk to each other about who gets to win this one. It's going to be a fun conversation as well.
Yeah. It's worth mentioning, too, that there's a separate, very high-profile jury for the project pitches, which is the Beijing market. It's a segment for film industry business practitioners, and that's got an impressive list of people on that jury, too.
Yes, we've got director Xu Qi, we've got Infan, and also Xiao Yihui. All these people would help to find out the next big stars in Chinese cinema. And that is the Tiantan Award related information. We're looking forward to the final results. But this is fun because I always think the crown jury of a film festival would definitely be the main awards. You have a lot of movies competing for that honor, but it's getting, I do not want to say overshined by, but definitely there have been more and more opportunities for audience like us to participate in different types of activities during the festival. And those activities are making me feel more engaged and more excited about.
I think for citizens and for public, the peripheral activities that's been held around the theme of movie or even just around that venue is very exciting because you can actually have the opportunity to get in and get a really, really close interaction with maybe the directors, the actors, and also the film industry practitioners. And this year, of course, you got a lot of different styles of activities. First of all, Beijing Film Panorama, which means a lot of old and new film screenings will happen around, I think, around not only in Beijing but also China, because we have this such a big scale of screenings in China.
Tianjin, Hebei also represented. Kind of reminds me of the Olympics in that way, where the Olympics are not held all in one place. Well, neither is this film festival. 260 selections from around the world. So they'll be showing at 28 different theaters in that Beijing, Tianjin, Hebei region. And that's going to total about 800 screenings, and over 70% of the international titles will be making their premiere here in China. That's got to be really exciting for the directors and the actors and anyone involved with those movies.
Yes, and for business insiders, maybe all the time nowadays, these international film festivals would have their major forums talking about the direction of the development of the industry in different aspects. And of course, for this one, we've got people talking about AI technology in film and direct dialogues between creators and audience, also about AI's impact in filmmaking. Even on Roundtable, we've talked about so many times about voice actors, about real actors, AI actors, and AI being used in the technology. And these days, there are so many different opportunities and possibilities. So I'm curious about even that Roundtable is not invited just yet to attend some of the forums, sharing our 2 cents about how we think AI might reshape the industry. I still am curious about your 2 cents in this, whether or not you think in the future, for example, do we think immersive formats or AI would eventually redefine what we consider as a film? Do you think in the future film can take place in a perhaps brain-computer interface kind of experience? You get to be one of the characters in it. You get to interact with actors, and just do you think the possibility is there?
I think it would be naive to say no.
Right?
Yeah. How far away that is, I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, the film industry, perhaps in that very specific sense, is looking at a transitional phase too. We know that AI is now being implemented into films in various aspects for various different reasons. Money, of course, is one of them in the production process. But yeah, how far it will end up going, I think that's something that's on the minds of a lot of people these days. But yeah, speaking of forms, they're talking about film creation, the film industry in general, and like you mentioned, Niu Honglin,
technology.
Yeah, and the innovation that comes with movie making these days. There's going to be some master classes involved in the forums, and one of them is going to be from Juliette Binoche herself, which I'm not even in the film industry, and I would like to hear. I'd like to be a fly in the wall in that room. Richard Curtis is going to do a master class. Chan An Hung is going to do a master class, and then there will be different panels too, where they're talking about the things that we are always discussing on Roundtable. AI tech in film and direct dialogues between creators and audiences will be involved there, which will be special too.
And I believe there is a film carnival with over 40 cultural activities. What's that all about? Can I take part in one of those?
Of course.
It seems like you really are trying to get involved.
Yeah.
That's the part that is really fun and actually engaging, and all of the citizens can join in, and includes some fashion galas, intangible cultural heritage displays, also animation, music, concerts, and outdoor movie screenings at Yanqi Lake and the China Film Capital. Because I think this is one of the activities that I would like to go to, the outdoor movie screenings. It gives you that kind of nostalgia when you can watch the movie outdoor with all of your friends together, and maybe people are discussing. It can be a little bit noisy for a movie watching event, but still, that kind of atmosphere and vibe is really interesting.
Old school and fun.
Old school.
What's happening for this year is that the opening ceremony and the closing ceremony, I think many of those are being shot and then live streamed in different spots of the city, and like Yushun has already mentioned, around the country. So it's live streamed in different areas, and not only in the super developed places like Beijing and Shanghai and stuff, but they are also covering places like Hubei province, Xinjiang, Xizang, all these places, to make sure that people there get to enjoy Beijing International Film Festival as they want. And you can imagine walking into a commercial district, having your everyday coffee with your friend, and you look up on a huge 8K ultra high definition screen. You get to watch the on spot, really happening live stream of that opening ceremony, and you get to, see which star is performing really well, performing as in walking down the red carpet in the best outfit they pick, which I think is also a sign of the trendy fashion choices of this year. So you get to pick up a lot of clue only by watching a part of the opening ceremony.
I attended that year's red carpet, and
Whoa. You were on the red carpet?
I was standing at the media
Sideline,
section.
I was standing next to the red. Hey, that's still
close enough.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I can totally feel why the industry is called entertainment. You can feel the vibe that these celebrities are bringing to you. That glamorous, shining environment can just give you that kind of pure happiness that you can get. You're just standing there. They are just standing there, and you can feel that.
They're calling it Super Live, which is a good name. And besides the live streaming part, one, you move your eye to another direction. You do not move out of the film festival atmosphere, because you get to see some recreational cultural product that is related to the film festival. You get to buy some kind of souvenir that is related to the film festival. So I think it is true that the entire experience is totally immersive and comprehensive.
I like this too. I want to mention quickly, they're having a college student film festival aspect of this as well. And it's the 33rd one, apparently. Yeah. And what they do here is they celebrate youth in cinema. They have different activities like youth night ceremonies, academic seminars, and they have another type of special program. It's the 120th anniversary of Chinese cinema, right? So that's part of the College Student Film Festival, too. And they have a youth honor film section. They have different screenings. So you mentioned before about finding the next stars. I mean, that could be very well where they come from.
They even have a dedicated industry job fair at Longyuan Station. I mean, yes, it's great. It's a good opportunity. You get to share your ideas. You get to meet the best of the best in the industry. But I don't know. I feel like it's also a bit stressful. The festival is supposed to be something that's purely fun. Now you're making it a bit too practical. Definitely in a good way, but I don't know how the students would feel.
Well, I kind of love it because there are so many elements to this film festival.
Yes.
You've got the red carpet event where I'm sure, Yushun, when you were standing there, you felt like you were in a different world.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, with all the camera shutters clicking and things like that. But then you've got that side of it. You've got the big name jury members, but then they make it so that it's accessible for everyone. It's not just a citywide celebration, which it is. It's not just a countrywide celebration, which it is, but there's public participation and there's shared enjoyment. And part of the excitement, too, for young people who are interested in working in the film industry in some aspect of the future, even that is part of the film festival, which I think makes it truly, truly for everyone.
Yes, and if you do not really want to work in the industry, just want to enjoy it to the fullest. Now, a real trend here in China is that you enjoy the movie, of course, and then you read the review from the professional critics, from ordinary audience, and then you started to buy the kind of product, maybe a coaster that has your favorite star's picture on it. Fridge magnet. And then you realize, no, this is still not enough. I need to go to the place where the movie is made, and I need to check out the city. I need to see whether or not the vibe that has been so attractive in the movie is the real living status in that neighborhood. And that is traveling into the city because of a film. That is already happening here in China for quite a long time. It's happening not only among Chinese people, but also foreign moviegoers as well. And this year, it's been done in a different level for Beijing International Film Festival, because if you're doing it on your own, of course, you get to experience everything. But if the city is preparing itself for you, the experience would be even more immersive and fun, and every element related.
Because they actually specifically designed for a lot of these routes for you to follow the places that the movie that you like or the movie that got shortlisted in the Tiantan Award. So it curated 10 themed travel routes based on classic films, connecting some of these very iconic landmarks and also filming locations and cultural parks. And one route includes Xizongbu Hutong, which is a filming location for that one of the nominated films, Crossing a Dawn. And another related activity includes following the movie to not only travel but also taste food, and at over 600 participating merchants, and following the movies to view flowers, because this is the season where Beijing is actually everything is blooming and getting into green little buds, and you can have
Perfect time.
Yeah, to have a little trip to not only travel but also viewing the flowers.
Yeah, Roundtable really wants to be part of it. So we have our own section of recommending a film and also talk about the city that is related to the film. Yang Yang, who is so lucky covering Beijing International Film Festival right now. See, that's why I keep talking about being able to participate, because he does, and he shared his choice already. And now it's Yushun's turn to share the movie that you enjoyed, especially the movie that is nominated by the Tiantan Awards. And one movie might have caught your eyes, and maybe that's because it is related to a city that you also are enjoying.
Exactly. One of the nominated movie is called All the Good Eyes, 森中有灵. That's written and directed by Zheng Zhi, who is one of the 3 rising voices of northeastern Chinese literature. So the film stars Yu Hewei, Gao Yuanyuan, Han Geng, and Zhang Tianai, and it tells a sweeping story spanning nearly 40 years where a murder case actually entangles 2 families.
I'm already interested.
Yeah.
Across 3 generations. So this is a story about something like deep grudges, emotional conflicts, and the weight of fate. So, but the thing is that the movie was taking place and also filmed in the northeastern part of China, in Shenyang.
Ooh, I always wanted to go.
Yes, that's also the hometown of this director, Zheng Zhi. So he also said during a on-set interview, every one of my works carries a sense of my hometown. So I think this is also a film that he can express something about, maybe recommending his hometown to the rest of the world, maybe, yeah. So, Shenyang, the city, is also a very good place for you to travel, no matter you are a person who really like natural sceneries, because that is in northeastern China. So in winter, you can have a good view on these ice and snow world, right? And another thing is that you can have really deep cultural experience, because there is a Shenyang Palace Museum, one of the only 2 remaining imperial palace complexes in China. And guess what is the another one? The another one here in Beijing. Of course. Palace Museum.
Right.
Yes. So that Palace Museum was also built in 1625. So that's also blending Han, Manchu, Mongolian, and Tibetan architectural styles. So it's also kind of a must visit for understanding of Qing history and also regional culture. And then on the same day, you can take a stroll on that very iconic tourist spot, Zhong Street, to stop by the historic Laobian dumpling restaurant. That is a very famous restaurant there. So it founded in 1829. So try its famous dumplings, these like generous fillings and rich and savory broth. These are the things that people and local people will recommend you to do.
So these places, all of the destinations Yushun has mentioned, are places I wanted to go. But I will also save up 1.5 hours, perhaps, to just walk in the neighborhoods. Because I have visited Harbin, which is another city in the northeast side of the country. And my feeling is that all these different cities have a quality, have a vibe that you can only start to experience and understand once you are in the real living circle of the local people. So I think that is another thing I would personally recommend you to do. Now, how about you, Steve? Any place and movie you want to recommend?
I'll start with what the film is about. How about that? Saigon, 1985. Kang, a young translator rising through the ranks of Vietnam's regime, is tasked with translating The Little Prince. His life is set, but everything changes when he meets Ki Nam, the reserved widow living next door. She lives quietly, cooking meals for and living and carrying the weight of unspoken grief. When an accident leaves her temporarily unable to work, Kang offers to help. What begins as an act of kindness slowly deepens into something far more powerful. But in a world governed by duty, desire can be dangerous, and not every connection is allowed to last. This is the synopsis for my film recommendation, which is Ki Nam In. And I can only recommend it as far as what I know. I watched the trailer for it. It's stunningly beautiful. And that's what a lot of the reaction is to the movie. It's been getting a lot of attention through film festivals like the Toronto Film Festival, the Busan Film Festival. And when I watched the comments, or when I read the comments about the film, the ones that stood out the most were about the fact that it looks so beautiful. The movie is shot on 35 millimeter film. And what that means is it has a natural grain to it, and the colors are richer and they're more organic. So when you watch a movie that's shot on 35 millimeter, you kind of feel like you're in the scene somehow, some way, but you don't really know why. It's a beautiful film. It feels very artistic. It feels very intentional. The director, who is a very famous director in Vietnam, and the actors are very famous in Vietnam as well. They call him a stylist because every scene looks so aesthetically perfect. It's so pretty to watch. It's a love story. It's a slow burning love story, and it's definitely on my list of places to watch, list of things to watch. Now, why did I choose a film from Vietnam? Because I recently came back from Vietnam.
I know. And you enjoyed it so much.
The film is set in Saigon, and I've been to Saigon before, but I'd rather recommend a different place if that's okay. I'd like to talk about Hoi An, which is close to the city of Da Nang, which is on the east coast of the country. It's south of Hanoi. Da Nang and Hoi An are places, usually people put them together for a vacation package because Da Nang is like city, but Hoi An is only 30 minutes away, and it's an ancient town. They call it Old Town or Ancient Town. And you feel like you're walking into Vietnam in, I don't know what decade, but a very, very, very long time ago. It's historic. There's temples there. The streets are quite narrow with beautiful, lush greenery. There's a canal that runs through the old town, and at night you can take a little boat and you can light a lantern and drop it into the canal, which is what everybody does.
Yeah, how romantic that is.
It creates this beautiful, picturesque, calm, serene environment. There's lots of shops. The cafes and coffee is maybe the best in the world. Sorry, Italy. But anyway, yeah, I'd really recommend it. Now, there should be one caveat, I suppose, because I did befriend briefly an American guy in Da Nang on the beach, and I was just talking to him for about 5 minutes, and I said, "Oh, you should go to Hoi An. It's really pretty." And he said, "Well, to be honest, I heard it's kind of a couple's place." And it didn't occur to me at the time.
Until you put that beautiful candle light in the river.
And I imagine, this single young dude like lighting a candle into the canal. It doesn't really make sense. But again, Hoi An, 3 days. Da Nang, only 30 minutes away from there. 3 days, you've got a week-long vacation. That is a perfect mix of the old and the new.
And imagine if your vacation takes place a bit later so that you can watch the film while you're there.
Yeah.
That is definitely another experience.
Had I only known. I really want to watch this movie, by the way, Ki Nam In. It looks absolutely gorgeous.
Yes, and that's the beauty of movies these days. Actually, in the past couple of years, China has seen a rise in moviegoers, in box office, in the time, and because we have also actively lowered the ticket price of movies. So you see, of course, a rise in box office, but also we see more and more people going into theaters because we realize that we can and we choose to always browse the internet or watch the short videos in our social media platforms by ourselves. But we always go to a movie with our friends or with our loved ones, family members. And it's also a collective experience watching a movie in a theater. You laugh with strangers sitting next to you as well, and you shed tears, and you even hear someone else's kid saying, "Mom, why is he dying? I love him. I don't want him to die," something like that. And this type of culture is getting back into the trend of the society. And I think it's also because as an individual, we still always will long for the human connection. And that connection can be the connection you forge with the characters in the movie. It can also be the connection that you forge, you share with those who are watching the same film with you together at that location, at that movie theater for that around 2 hours. So yes, film festival, a perfect time to get that experience, if you may, and we will continue to recommend good movies and good places to visit for you here on Roundtable.